Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of Tiny Table Radio Talks. Today I'm joined by my friend Kat. She goes by Katarina. She is from Tampa, Florida, and now lives in Brooklyn, pretty close to our home Tiny Table Radio studios here. But without further ado, Kat, welcome to the
Hey,
show.
thanks for having me. I'm so excited
Yeah,
to be here.
great. First place I like to start with everybody is just tell me a bit about how you got started into DJing. What is that story?
Oh, well, I've always been in music. I guess when I saw a couple friends playing this toy, I was like, what's that? And it looked really interesting.
Oh,
So I just kind of like picked it up. There was a setup at a friend's house. They were mixing. It was like an after party, and I was kind of standing and watching and poking my head over their shoulder, and I was like, oh, this kind of looks interesting and kind of easy. Not to like be that person, but
like
to
something
me,
you could do.
yeah, there's something
Yeah.
I could do. And then I started doing it, and the feedback I got was like, hey, you picked this up really fast. And I was like, oh, I like that. So let me just continue doing that. And
Nice.
yeah, so to me, it was just like, what's this other instrument that I can pick up?
Yeah.
Because I played guitar, I play piano, I sing. I had a friend kind of really hold my hand and take me through it from how to like format your music, layer the music in, starting with, I think the first thing I remember hearing was like, you don't want the basses to be up together, like
Mm-hmm.
the trebles to be up together. I mean, now that I've been playing for a bit, I've realized like depending on the songs you can do that, but that was kind of the first foray into it. And since I know other instruments, it was just kind of something I wanted to add into my arsenal, and it felt very natural to kind of understand because of that, which
Yeah.
I think definitely helped me.
Cool.
Yeah.
And what year was that?
This was in 2018.
So 7 years.
Yeah, 7 years. 7 years, wild. Time flies.
Yeah.
But yeah, when I first started out, it was I was playing with just a group of guys and not around a lot of female DJs at that point. So
Yeah.
and then when I started to meet other female DJs, I was like, oh, not that it was a big difference. It was just I think it's intimidating
Yeah.
in its own right, just for
Sure.
a little bit.
Sure. So do you feel like meeting or connecting with other female DJs sort of gave you a bit more confidence
Yeah.
and just like that there are other, women out there
Yeah.
who do it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Just having that like visible representation, I
Mm-hmm.
guess. That's all. But
Yeah.
and yeah, it's been so great to be like doing this for 7 years, and now I'm helping other people, and the roles have kind of reversed, and that's been like a really great moment. Like I had someone call me the other day that was asking for advice, and it was really like a nice full circle moment.
Nice.
Not that I'm like, the most like not even professionals. Like I've only been doing this 7 years. People have been doing this for
Way
decades.
longer.
But it's nice to be in a position now that I've had quite a few gigs and experiences under my belt to be able to like kind of give back in that sense, especially to female DJs that are trying to get into
Nice.
DJing, because I feel like I didn't get that advice early, some of the advice early enough when I started, and that's kind of what I wish I had, just a little bit more of a role model for me.
Yeah, like some support.
Yeah.
Yeah, cool. You mentioned when you looked at it the first time, you're like, there was this toy. I think I could do it. It's pretty easy. Was it as easy as you thought it would be to just pick it up or learn it?
I mean, the basics, right? I think because for me, it's about music taste. It's technical, right? But it's nothing like vinyl. Like I tried to, for the first time actually, try to spin vinyl like maybe within the last 6 months. Like that's quite embarrassing, I feel like, to even like say that I tried to attempt spinning vinyl only in the last 6 months if I've been doing this for 7 years. And I was like, wow, I have mad respect for anyone who spins vinyl. It is a very different beast. But going back to your question, I think because I had not to toot my horn, but to toot my own horn, it's having tasted music and like knowing what songs kind of would maybe go together, or I think that's definitely what helped.
Sure.
And then I had a really great teacher, like someone that was able to know my learning style, someone I felt comfortable with. I think the other thing too is you got to get messy. I mean, with any sort of creative process, whether it's DJing, whether it's painting, whatever you're doing, like you got to fail fast and you got to be comfortable kind of just throwing shit at the wall and seeing what sticks.
Yeah. That's part of just a creative journey anyway, right? It's like you have to be willing to push through the fear of looking bad or sounding bad or anything like that, right? Because how do you grow or learn from it if you don't actually apply it, right? You could study it all you want, watch videos all you want on like somebody mixing, but until you actually go in there and turn the knobs and push the buttons, and that's not always going to be great the first few times.
Absolutely. And even like some of the songs that might have gone together, I just had to hear them together. And then you're like, oh, I should have put down like the treble on that one, or like the bass like needs to come in later, or it's just you learn by doing. You gotta just not be so hard on yourself too when you're getting into it, and not try to be intimidated by all the buttons, because there's a lot of different things on there. And I don't even use all the buttons even today. I don't think I'm a very fancy spinner.
I honestly, I don't think most people use most of the buttons.
No.
Right, they're all there for a reason, but it's kind of it's funny. I felt like, at least when I was starting versus now, like I probably don't use too many more buttons or effects or anything. But I had to learn what each one did to be able to just do the simple stuff way better. Almost like you just have to it's like one of those weird learning curve things, right?
Absolutely.
I guess good time to ask, if you were to tell somebody beginning, and let's say a beginning female who's looking to DJ, what are some things that you do say that I wish I would have known earlier off the bat? What are a couple of things that stand out as far as like some advice that you would give to somebody?
I'd say, like, just because you are starting out, how do I put this? So when I first started out, I feel like I was the opener for so many sets, even though I actually had a sound that wasn't an opening sound. It was a little harsher. I feel like for a lot of gigs, the sound should like be a little softer, and then you get bigger, right?
Sure.
I had a bigger sound, yet I was kind of put at the beginning because that was the slot no one wanted. And I didn't really fight for like having like a headline kind of part of the set, and there is this kind of like pay your dues kind of atmosphere, but I think just fight if you feel like you want to play a later part of the event because that you truly feel like that your sound is there. Fight for that. Don't be put as the opener just because like you're the new person. I think anyone who's throwing an event would understand like that the event should be like a good event, and not just for the sake of like putting someone first because they have to like pay their dues and they can't get like the headlining like part. Another thing I'd say, just in general, regardless of gender, is just content. Like I don't have I've been playing for 7 years. I have nothing to show for myself. It's so sad. I like never really took content seriously. I never really like recorded myself visibly, like I audibly recorded, but
well, that'll change today.
That'll change today.
You'll have one now that everybody will be able to see.
Yesterday I had a set that I also recorded, and I was like, I need to remember doing this, and thankfully I have a partner now that is very good at taking pictures and videos of me too. But I just never really took the photography and videography part seriously, and now I'm like trying to get into the personal branding space too. Again, 7 years later, it's like so hard to I'm just a little shy when it comes to self-promotion, and I think also growing into that and being more comfortable with, if you are going to try to pursue this seriously meaning like if you're trying to get booked for things, you need to have something to show for yourself.
Right.
If you're trying to do that, take that seriously. Pay a friend with maybe, whether it's like a free ticket and some drink tickets, to be that person that's gonna take videos and pictures of you. That's great, but definitely invest in that. Like, don't forget about that part.
That's a good point, because I think that as artists, we care about the art. Mostly. There are certainly artists who are very good at promoting themselves as well, but it's not necessarily like marketing doesn't come to the forefront of our minds of when if I have a gig, I'm like, what songs am I going to play that people are going to want to dance to? Not like, all right, how am I going to make, use this as content for later? But you're right. I mean, it's more important than ever now.
Absolutely. And I have to say, like, a lot of the gigs, even without having a lot of content, I still have gotten a lot of gigs.
Right.
And it has been through word of mouth. And I do think that that's something I'm proud of. That's something that, I do work kind of in marketing, and something that we say is like, marketing is the price that you pay for a poor product. And so I feel like because I haven't really invested that much in the personal branding, and I'm still getting quite a few gigs, like, I think the product kind of has spoken for itself. So I feel good about that. But now it's like, it is a very saturated space too. Like, more and more people are DJing, which is great. I love that. I don't really like to be in a competitive mindset, because it's not about that. Like, the more the merrier. But because of that, like you have to invest in the personal branding part.
Right. It is something that we all have
It
to
is a
do.
thing.
It is
It's a
the
thing.
thing.
Yeah.
Yep.
Shameless self-promotion.
Yep. Okay. So you said that, word of mouth was part of how you got gigs, but
Yeah.
take me back to that first gig. And
I don't remember the name of the place. I don't know if it's around anymore. I remember posting it on Instagram because it was like, come watch me like perform like this newfound hobby I have. It was on Broome Street. I forget.
Okay.
It was like downstairs. I could probably find the name. But I think when I was with a group of friends, we would always like hang out and play for each other. I think my friend had a party and I was spinning at their place and I got a lot of good. It's all about the feedback loop for me. And so when I was playing, a lot of people were like, oh my gosh, like that was great. I loved your music. And that gave me the confidence to kind of be like, oh, I feel like I could play like at a place. And then my friend booked me at that place at the Broome Street, whatever. I should remember what the name is. But anyways, it was some sweaty basement in the city in the Lower East Side. And
there's a few of those.
yeah, exactly. I'm actually really shy when it comes to playing guitar and singing. I think DJing, even though it's still performing, it didn't feel as like I didn't get as much anxiety doing that because I wasn't singing, playing guitar.
Yeah.
Like it felt easier to perform for people. And I realized I do love performing for people. I loved how less anxious I felt with the DJing part of it.
What do you think why do you think that was?
Because I care about what people think.
Sure. No, but I suppose, why do you think you felt less anxious DJing than you did, playing an instrument? Because
it's not my it's not like I'm playing other people's music and like, yes, I'm showing like my style, but it felt less vulnerable to me. I think singing and playing guitar feels more vulnerable because it's my voice. It's like my actual talent of like how well can you actually play guitar. And yes, it's like how well can you spin, but it feels a little bit more like
there's also a degree of separation between the live performance aspect, right? So the songs that we're playing as DJs are already recorded.
Exactly. And you kind of know them and like you can expect like what you know what it's going to sound like. I don't know what I'm always going to sound like when I hit a note.
Right.
Like maybe I didn't breathe well enough or I didn't
do
enough exercises with my diaphragm before playing or singing. So you can surprise yourself. And look, and that can happen DJing too. It's like if you don't know your music well enough, you kind of sloppily put a playlist together and didn't really like think through whether the songs were going to go together. You just kind of like, and that's something I would do when I first started out. This is another lesson I think for people to understand when you're getting into this is there's like artist DJs and then there's designer DJs. And artist DJs are like, how do I put this? Like, let me work myself backwards. So with a designer kind of DJ, you're like, as a designer trying to fix a problem or like make someone happy because you're designing for them. Like an artist is expressing themselves and like we're all expressing ourselves here, but as kind of a DJ that's really doing it for the crowd, making sure that they're having like a really great time versus someone that's like, I'm just expressing myself. That will come second. If I'm doing that, I feel like there's two different avenues.
It's so funny because Anthony, who's on the show before you, said something so similar of like the two different types of DJs. And the way he put it was that, there's an environment where people are there for the music and you are an artist expressing yourself in a much more free way, and then there's an act where you're performing and it's very much curated for a crowd and it's the music that they want to hear, and there's more structure around it. And I'm not repeating exactly the way that he said it in a much more eloquent way than I just did, but it's funny to hear that it's somebody else coming in and talking about the different ways to do it. One of the questions that I asked him, and now I want to ask you too, is which one do you feel more comfortable in, or which one do you like better? Maybe that's the same or different.
I mean, I went to design school as a designer. I didn't do fine arts. I did something called integrated design. So that was very much learning about like the needs of the problem at hand and then choosing whatever medium would be best fit for like said need or issue. So I think my mind was already kind of trained in that way. I think also when you're getting hired for bringing people to a place, making them want to stay there and dance, I get in that mindset because I'm like, I have someone paying me. I want them to be happy. I want the venue to be happy. So I'm putting them first instead of myself. And I think also I'm still in this like period where I'm like, you're paying me, I want you to be happy, versus like you're paying me to just like do my thing. But maybe it's a little bit of both. I don't know. I feel like I oscillate. I think I'm trusting myself more so now that I am certain regards. Like yesterday when I played, even though it was my friend's birthday, she loves like what I play. She loves my sound.
Okay.
But I think I confuse it because I do play a lot of these like corporate wedding gigs, and like I want the like, especially weddings, like you're playing them their music, right? Because I've been doing so much of that lately, I get in that mindset more often because I'm like, yes, they gave me the music that they want to hear on their special day. So I've been in that mindset for a little bit more. But yeah, I'd say I could oscillate, but I definitely fall more on like the designer kind of mindset. And I'm trying to learn how to trust myself into like, for the gig that I did yesterday, is like, no, I can still be like that artist. It just, I think it depends on the event, really.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah.
You mentioned your sound a few times.
Yeah.
How would you describe your sound?
Versatile, but it's not snoozy. Like I don't think I'm ever known for playing like slow music. I've been told that I'm the kind of DJ that will like get someone off of a couch and like want to come and dance. Everyone wants everyone to be happy, right? When they're playing, but it's like, it's vibrant. I feel like it's it makes people want to move. It makes them like really energized. I don't think you'll listen to my set to like study or like do homework. It's not like melodic in that way, but maybe to like work out or like.
Yeah. Question, since we have a chair at Tiny Table Radio, are you still able to do that sitting down, even if you want to get other people to dance?
It's going to be interesting, yeah, because I don't really sit down when I play.
Yeah, it's a few people have said it's
going to be
a different experience.
Yeah.
However, it's funny because ironic timing. I played last night, and it was called a sofa session, but there was a proper dance floor. I was just sitting. I found it great to be able to play high energy music, but still sitting, because I like that. But I think it is possible. But I was just curious.
No, absolutely, and I'm excited to do that.
Yeah, it takes a little experimentation of venues and shows and gigs and sets to really kind of know like what feels right to you. But was there one where you're like, okay, this is kind of where I want to like narrow the focus?
Yeah, I'd say that it was my first time playing on an art car at the Burn in 2022. It was on my camp's art car. It's called Snugs. We were a gnome themed camp, but I played my first ever art car set by my first ever sunrise set. And so I kind of started playing when it was dark out, but then during my set, the sun came up. And there was something about having like the sun come up and me choosing a song, like when the light was hitting, and it was so great. But I just remember looking up, and there were so many more people like dancing that weren't just our friends from the camp that had just like slowly come up. And I was really nervous before that too. And it was like, I was locked in. I looked up and the sun was shining. It was just like, I think I was playing a song that was like, let the sun shine. And it was just perfect, like all in all. But when I finished and I got down and got to be on the dance floor myself, so many people came up to me and they were like, that was so great. It made me so happy. It was the best way to start my day. Like, I'm in such a good mood. Like, that made me really happy. And going back to your question of the like design versus artist, I think that mindset is just like, I love making other people happy with my music. Like, I don't think it really, like, for DJing at least, like, it's for other people. I think for singing and guitar, that's for me. Like, I find that when I'm singing and I'm playing guitar or playing piano, like that's almost like a mood regulator. It makes me feel better. If I'm like sad, I'll do that and it makes me feel better. I'm in a better mental state. But with DJing, it's like, I don't think if I'm in a bad mood and I DJ, it's going to make me feel better in that way. Like it would, but not in the same power of the guitar playing. So,
gotcha.
Yeah. But yeah, that was a gig that I was like, oh, I can really do this and make people happy. And like, that aren't just my friends, that aren't just being nice to me, like general public.
Yeah. I mean, that's a special place.
It's
too.
A special place.
If you have been, then
not to be that person that's at Burning Man, but that was a good one. Another one, I'd say, like, if it's not going to be at that place, like another gig, I have to say it was Up and Down. It was like a club on 14th Street.
Yeah, I'm not familiar.
Yeah, it was my first like real like New York City nightclub, and I was like, this is really cool. And again, it's all about feedback for me. I'm a big feedback person. Again, goes back to the designer kind of mindset, is like you get feedback and then you adjust. You get feedback and then you adjust. And so the sound that I played for that set on the art car was like very disco dance, and I think disco is something that I've been able to really master. Disco house, like that's definitely more of my bread and butter, and that's the sound that I feel most like comfortable with.
Cool. I was gonna ask, how you feel like your sound's evolved, and maybe there is an answer to that too. It sounds like it's gone into that the disco house, vibrant, make you want to dance, or a good playlist for a workout type of thing. Has there been an evolution to that?
Oh, absolutely. My first recorded set, when I first started doing this and recorded one at home, was with trap music.
Oh.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, with like Hoochie and like Mr. Carmack. Like it's kind of sloppy, like looking back at it, but that was the first kind of music that got me into electronic music.
Gotcha.
It wasn't house music, it was trap music. And then as I started to listen to other house DJs, I realized, I mean, I still do like trap. I think that's definitely for working out.
I want to hear that.
Yeah. Maybe I'll send the link. It's kind of embarrassing, but it's like, it's nice to see how far I've come too.
Sure. Yeah.
But yeah, so it's like, it started really, really like, I don't know, trap music feels like kind of younger, like in college, like going into like a big concert for the first time, going to like these big like Gov Ball or Izu or something like that, and then kind of coming back to a more refined like house sound. I think it's gotten more refined in the sense of, I guess you could say it's becoming more like, not melodic, but it feels like it's gone from here to just kind of like here.
The filter like narrows a little bit. Yeah,
and a little bit more complex kind of.
Right. So not all four to the floor, like straight, like easy beat matching kind of stuff. Cool.
And definitely sampling when you're trying to actually mix like a top 40 song that doesn't have like a perfect kind of like rhythm, and like being able to pull maybe like a lyric from one of those songs and like add it into a house song, like being able to kind of take music that's not electronic and add it into a set. I think has been something that I've been trying to like kind of master, and live mixing and live sampling.
It sounds like you're challenging yourself to, level up your skills a little bit with that too, right? Because even though you're narrowing the filter of your sort of sound, it's also broadening your skill set at the same time. Yeah. Right. So.
And also like I'm still to this day, I'm not like a strict mix and key person. Like I know people who plan their entire sets around like making sure the key flows. And I think the Camelot system is great, and it definitely works. Like if I'm lost and I don't know if a song's going to sound good, I'm in a high pressure kind of set or gig, then that's something I can fall back on. It's like, okay, like let me just play in the same key because I know it's going to sound better.
A minor the whole time.
The whole time.
A couple of like quick questions. I've really enjoyed our conversation, kind of hearing about your evolution as an artist. One thing you mentioned was it was that a sunrise set that was kind of like a sort of a pivotal moment or a very standout moment for you. Do you prefer playing sunset or sunrise if you had to pick?
Oh, sunrise.
Okay.
I'm bringing in the light.
Love that. What is your dream setup, your dream gear setup? Take me through the decks, the mixer. What are your headphones? Like if you could set it up exactly the way you want, what would it be?
Well, I would love to have like custom wood speakers, like kind of like a Despacio situation. I think, and I'm setting up a home system now. I mean, I'm a sucker for an all-in-one. I really do like an all-in-one. I know CDJs are great and that's like the standard, but I like having the one screen. I think it's easier. I think a lot of people, a lot of people say like CDJs is kind of like a manual car, and versus like an XDJ is like an automatic car. I like the automatic car; it's easy. So I think like I want speakers that are like 3 feet tall, like on the side.
Nice.
And then I would love to have the all-in-one, a booth monitor. I would love to have my guitars. I do want to start incorporating like guitar playing and looping into sets, I think that's definitely something I want to challenge myself to do. And
cool.
And I have played with other live instruments. Like I played with a trumpet and a sax and a conga before, and it's been really fun.
Yeah.
Sometimes the conga, like playing with drums, is a little tricky.
Yeah.
I really don't know if I like that as much as a sax or a trumpet.
Right, because
if they're not doing well, then I'm like, wait, is it me that's kind of like making the offbeat? Or I'm like, and I feel bad ever telling someone to be like, hey, stop playing. You're messing me up. Because
save it for the break. Save it for the break.
Like,
What is one must have on a rider for you? Like
height. I'm 6'1". I cannot have a 33-inch tall table. I need 42 inches. Trust me, it also looks better. Like I'm not trying to be crouched over like the hunchback of Notre Dame. Like I need to be standing up so I can also have better stage presence and like not feel like my lower back's gonna kill me the whole time.
That is no fun.
Yeah.
At the end of the day. Yeah. I feel like somebody needs to just invent like a standing desk for DJ gear.
Yeah.
Like, not like a office desk, but actually one that looks cool, but just changes height.
Exactly.
Maybe that is out there. I don't know. But
I know. Send the link if so, please
comment.
Or make it.
Yeah. We'll buy it.
We'll take 20% of that.
Any upcoming shows, gigs, events that you want to talk about or share?
I'm just doing a lot of weddings this year. So shout out Dart Collective, by the way. But I basically, I work for this company called Dart that gets me these really amazing wedding or corporate gigs. And before I get a gig, I often do like a screen call with the couple or the client.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember going onto this screen call and I recognizing the name, and it was for this wedding that's happening in June. And so I hop on the call and I was like, I know you.
How
Did
funny.
you grow up in Tampa, Florida? And they were like, yes.
Did they request you?
No.
Oh, wow.
No, they didn't request me. My agent just kind of was like, this, I think your sound would be really great for what they're looking for. And so we got on the call and we were like, oh my gosh, we went to high school together.
Wow.
And I'm going to play her wedding. So it's going to be so small world. I'm going to play for my friends, which is going to be really fun. So I'm actually really excited for that.
Nice.
Because people that I grew up with can now kind of see what I've been kind of up to while I've been here.
I have you to thank for connecting me with Dart as well.
They're great. They look great.
Yeah. I've done one event so far, so it was really, really fun. And like you said, going back to one of the points that you made about different genres too, and like having, especially at a wedding, it's for the bride and groom first and foremost, or the couple that is getting married first and foremost.
Yeah,
that is not always for the floor house music for sure. So
really?
Having to right. I mean, sometimes maybe, but having to learn how to really blend different genres from different eras and different styles, and even different like mastering levels too, right? Because maybe something in the 70s was remastered in like the 2000s and it's louder, but still, it's like you just really have to pay attention in a different way.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
So, a good stretch for the I'm comfortable in my house music.
Yeah, no, definitely. Because
seat.
Yeah, I played a friend's wedding last November, and because all of our friends were DJs, like she had me and a few other people play, and a lot of the other DJs played a lot of house music, and it was great for our friends who were at the wedding, but not like a lot of the family members or like the friends that had traveled to go there, and like kind of forgot about those people that might not like to hear house music. Right. And you gotta make sure that you're hitting, kind of an intergenerational sound, something that's like approachable for everyone. So yeah, it's definitely, I think playing weddings as much as people can be like, oh, that sounds kind of lame, it's really made me a better DJ, because it is high pressure. It's hopefully one of their only day that they're getting married. And you want to make it really special. They're paying a lot of money. And it's a special moment with their friends and family that they all want to hear sounds and music that they all know and share these special memories with. And so
100%.
Yeah, it's definitely made me a better DJ for it.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. Well, thank you again for this conversation. One last thing, where can people find you, follow you, stay connected, hear your music?
Yeah, I'm on SoundCloud. It's not under Katarina. It's under Illumicati. I will send you it. That was kind of like my
we'll link
first.
everything in the
Yeah.
description too. So
Yeah, so it's yeah, on SoundCloud under Illumicati.
okay.
Yeah.
And you say more promotional, any other social media?
Oh, Illumicati also for Instagram. And then when I start producing my own original tracks.
That's coming up?
Not coming up anytime soon, but it's on the roadmap.
All right, great.
But I don't know if it'll be on Spotify. Let's see. I kind of like want to do, I've been looking at like Tune FM or like more like a Web3 kind of.
Yeah.
Maybe
gotcha.
like more decentralized.
I know that was a whole other conversation we could probably have, but maybe for the next time you're back on the show.
Yeah, maybe the next time I'll have a song to
great.
Been released.
Let's plan. We'll pencil that in.
That'd be great.
All right, Kat, well, I'm looking forward to your set. Thanks again for coming on.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah. I hope you enjoyed that Q&A with our latest guest. It would help a lot if you hit subscribe so I can grow this channel and bring more artists onto the show. You'll get to learn more about who they are and hear their craft. So hit that subscribe button now, and I'll see you next time. Enjoy the set.